Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today it's one of my replays and I'm in my Des Moines, a tier 10 US cruiser. I'm on the map Sea of Fortune. It's a tier 11 battle, and once again we can't see the enemy team panel, but there is no carrier and no sub, so that's nice. And I've survived those armor piercing shells, that's even nicer. So I am currently being raided, which is a shame because I was really hoping I could go into concealment here. And there are still ships that might be able to shoot me. I think that Des Moines might be able to touch my booty. But for now, I can go a little bit more forward and get some better coverage here from the island. Now, besides this Des Moines, there is also an Annapolis here, so there are plenty of ships that can raid me. For now, I will have to rely on the island stopping shots and not just concealment to survive here. Now, thankfully, well, the Killbear can shoot me. There isn't a battleship at the flank that is wrecking me right now, and even that Killbear is potentially going behind an island. Now, I'd like to engage this Des Moines a bit, but if I... Yeah, now I'm undetected. If I reverse here too much, right, the Des Moines can shoot my broadside, which would be very unhealthy for me. And there really isn't much room here to properly angle. I also, you know, I could be raided again at some point, as we've established there are two raiders in my vicinity, and I'm not sure who actually used this raider earlier. So I gotta keep this life-saving island here close. Now my friend here has provided me with a smoke screen, which gives me a little bit more... well, a little bit more freedom to maneuver. I still have to be wary of the raiders, but at least I won't be regularly detected here if I reverse too much. And I do have the legendary module, which means I can accelerate relatively quickly. And keep in mind there is a delay, like when you press raider, you immediately see what you're raidering, but other ships need to wait 6 seconds. Which means if that Des Moines or the Annapolis would raider right now, and even, like, I mean, it doesn't look like the Shabbat has shots right now. But if there is a battleship that has shots at me, right, but it's like the Des Moines that raiders, I do have those few seconds to actually accelerate and get away. Meanwhile, I have used my own raider to give us some information. There are a lot of ships around. I found the Killbear. I earlier briefly found the Shimmer. Now we will see if I can do something about this Killbear. There is not a lot of time left inside the smoke screen, but let's be honest, the smoke fire penalty of the Des Moines is so bad that the smoke doesn't really do anything here anyway, the Killbear being that close. Unfortunately, I can't quite lob shells successfully over this island. I got like one hit into the Killbear, but it wasn't that impressive. Now, my team is getting a few shots in. Speaking of my team is mostly sitting behind the A-cap. Because this is World of Warships, right? Now, we have one Isumu here. Now, sadly, this Isumu is... let's just say it's not that attentive, because we saw a Shimmer coming this way, right? And the way this Isumu is going, it's probably just gonna get wrecked by a Shimmer. It would be much better if that Isumu was a little bit further, like... Let's just say the island towards the Isumu's left. That might have been a decent spot for it. But just be a little bit closer. Yeah, it's... obviously we want crossfires and so on. Like, this position is obviously great for ships that push in here from the center. But the Isumu has absolutely no spotting against the Shimmer, and the Shimmer is going to hunt it, right? And it has no tools to actually spot them. So I don't really have high hopes for its survival. Of course, at least this Isumu is trying, you know. It might not be paying enough attention to the Shimmer, but it is actually trying something. That's a lot more than I can say for most of our team. I mean, look at how many ships there are. There are like barely any enemies at the A side, and yet our blob is not doing much. So we are basically now relying on the enemy just making enough mistakes for us to take this. Meanwhile, it does look like the Isumu has actually survived some Shimmer torps here. That's good. And oh shit, there are torps coming for me, and I'm not paying attention to them just yet, because I'm an idiot. Oh, there they are. So this is going to be tight. And can I fit? Can I squeeze in? Yes! Yes, I can. So the Montana is currently behind this island. And the Annapolis here is leaving, and it can't turn because of an island. So I'm now gonna come around here with armor piercing, right? Now, the Annapolis is a bigger version of me, but the thing is I can turn in an angle, and the Annapolis, well, okay, it's managed to get past this island now. It can angle now as well. But it has already taken too much damage. Now I'm going to switch to high explosive. The Montana is still alive, but it's still behind the island, right? Now, if this Montana manages to push around or something, then I'll be in trouble. But it's still engaged with the Isumu. I don't think it's gonna pay any attention to me right now. Which allows me to farm this Annapolis. And it looks like the Montana and the Isumu actually traded. So honestly, the Isumu did very well there. So in the end, I gotta say, great job, Isumu. Because if it hadn't dealt with Montana, I couldn't have done what I did right now. That allows me to grab the sea cap. The Shimmer is still somewhere, but I'm currently not detected, which means the Shimmer shouldn't be close enough to be a real issue. Of course, I was detected earlier. The Shimmer might have been launching some torps at some point towards me. But for now, I feel reasonably safe. We are also taking the B cap, and Vermont seems to be now pushing into A. So overall, this game isn't looking too bad, even though our team on the left flank is still, I don't know, sitting behind this island there. Now I might be able to get some nice shots into this Kurfürst. Also, this is going to tell us a little bit about this Shimmer. Yeah, I'm not getting detected, right? Which means, well, means the Shimmer doesn't have line of sight to me inside my detection circle. It could still mean that the Shimmer is behind an island there somewhere. Now obviously my RPF is pointing towards the Kurfürst, right? But the Kurfürst is like about 12 kilometers away, so the Shimmer could still be somewhat in that like 13 kilometers or so. Now hopefully we can get the Kurfürst before it escapes. A fire would be really lovely here. I mean, considering that I'm in the Moines with Raider, it's entirely possible that the Shimmer is just... Oh, there is the fire that I wanted. It's entirely possible that this Shimmer is just given up on this side entirely and has, I don't know, run back to its friends. I mean, I suppose it could have gone wide and pushed. Now off-flank there. Of course, the enemy Shimmer is generally not gonna be much happier elsewhere because there is an Annapolis at A and there's a Petro at B. So we have basically the entire center line here covered with radar. It's definitely not a good time to be an enemy destroyer here. So I'm going for some armor piercing here against this Yamato. It's, well, moderately successful. I mean, if I'd stuck with high explosive and just tried to set fires, maybe it would be more profitable. Depends on the fire RNG, I guess. But we are doing some damage here. And our Petro is going for it. Oh, Petro armor piercing against that Yamato. Yeah, that Yamato is dead. It looks like we are winning this quite heavily. At this point, the enemy is down to... what, 3 ships? And Iowa pretty far in the back. I don't know where the blank is, and obviously I can speed this up a little here and unlock the camera to not give you vertigo with fast camera movement. So RPF just switched, which means finally I'm in a position where the Shimmer is actually the closest thing. So yes, the Shimmer has tried to go behind our backs, and it doesn't look like it was very successful. Although maybe it's getting some damage there against the Montana. So it's time to slow it down some more, give myself back camera movement. The thing is, I don't know just how close the Shimmer is, so I'm keeping my radar to just make sure. And now I'm detected, so now I'm gonna pop radar, and the Shimmer is close enough. Now obviously my detection is a bit worse than my radar range, so if I had been unlucky it could have been just in this little gap. But the Shimmer was close enough, so now we can get some shots in. The bad news is there is kind of a little bit of an island that blocked some of my shots. The good news is it will block enemy torpedoes. I do have Hydro running anyway, I guess. But can't hurt to have some additional protection here against the torps. And it looks like we're getting this Shimmer here just fine. And with this, we're going to win. So, despite our team's awkward positioning, this Des Moines game worked pretty well in the end. So there is that. And it was a lovely victory. Got myself quite a bit of experience. I suppose I got quite a bit of damage into destroyers, and I farmed Annapolis just slightly. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you next time.